Trek Madone SLR 6, weighing right around 8 kilos and in pounds. 17.5 pounds in a size 54. Stay tuned to after video where free buy something doesn't happen anywhere. Hey, how's it going, everyone? GC Performance here, back with a video, and today I have for you guys this brand new 2023 Trek Madone SLR 6 in their Gen 7 version. This is the newest rendition of the Madone. There have been 7 generations of this bike, and this has the brand new ISOFlow, as we can see right here. First of all, I want to apologize. I don't know if you guys can hear that music over there by Mrs. Caribbean. It sounds like they're having a party outside, but there's no people there. So I apologize for that. Second of all, if I do get demonetized because of that music, I'm gonna have to fight someone. Third of all, I apologize again. But big shout out to B&J Cycles for letting me go ahead and do a video on this bike. They just got this new Trek Madone in here. This ring retails for $8,000. It is a size 54. If you guys are interested in buying one, they do have this bike in stock with the new 105 Di2. And I think this is a really, really good deal for this bike in terms of what you're getting. If you guys have seen my video on the Shimano 105 stuff, the new Di2, the 12-speed, it's not that far off from the Ultegra Di2. You're getting a lot of bang for the buck with trickle-down technology. It's basically the exact same motors, the exact same shifting mechanisms. The only thing really different is going to be that front derailleur. The brake calipers are identical in weights. I mean, the components of what you're getting on this bike for the money of it is actually a really good price point, considering that this is an $8,000 bike and their top tier bike is $13,100. You're saving a total of $5,000 just because you're getting a cheaper group set on an Aero bike, and it's the exact same carbon on the frame and just cheaper wheels. I mean, if you're looking for a bike that you want to competitively race for crits or whatever you want to do, maybe throw a little bit shallower depth wheels on here, but $8,000 for a top tier frame that they make in the Madone. And I mean, you're getting a really good group set with 12 speeds. Just change out the cassette and chain, you got a really nice bike here. So I really do think that this is a better version bike, or if someone who wants to hit the middle of the road, an $8,000 bike, but feel a premium product while riding because you're going to get that stiffness at the frame. I think the 105 versions, the SLR 6, I think that's a really, really good version. Like I said, the SLR, you are still getting their SLR 800 series, their OCLV. This is the nicest carbon they make in the Madone. Basically, the SLR 6 just stands for you get a little bit cheaper components, cheaper wheels, and cheaper saddles and stuff like that. But the frame is exactly the same, so not too bad. With this bike, like I said, they've made some changes. They took away the ISOSpeed decoupler in the rear. They got rid of that, and they just basically put this ISOFlow here. What they did with this, they said that it's supposed to clean up a lot of that dirty air for where you're pedaling at, and it's also supposed to make the bike sturdier. With removing the ISOSpeed decoupler, they made this a little bit lighter with the ISOFlow as well. And before, like I mentioned before in the other video, because this is kind of free floating out of the saddle over this area and it kind of sticks out, they say it allows a little bit of comfort, of vertical compliancy to allow for the rider. So with the removal of the ISOSpeed decoupler, which added comfort, this is going to be the makeup of it. Yes, it's completely rigid, this C-post here, this frame down here, but see this little shark tooth right there? That's supposed to be the comfort aspect of it. In the old video, I did say that you have to cut down the Madone C-posts, but I believe someone said in the video to correct me that they come in different sizes, so there's no cutting of these Madone C-posts. You go ahead and you just pick whatever size C-post you need for your riding. And to get size for these bikes, they offer them in 8 different sizes. I believe from 47 all the way up to a 64, which is a huge size run. So no discrimination if you're small, no discrimination if you're big. You can get a premium feel bike for that amount of money, which is great. So very nice. But yes, they got rid of the ISOSpeed decoupler, which a lot of people I heard were having issues with. Some of the bearings, some of the bushings were going bad on people. Longevity of them weren't lasting that long, and they just made a bike look much cleaner. I do like the design of it. People make fun of it. They say it's gimmicky, but how much more can you do to a bike? You know, people say that we hit the peak of bikes 2 or 3 years ago, but you have to credit people when they're trying different things. Trek is obviously the only ones promoting this and saying that this is going to be more aerodynamic than other people would, but you know, what else can you do to a bike? You have to change the shape of it. Something has to be revolutionary. They obviously tested it for a little bit of time, or for a good amount of time with other riders on there. People are worried about this failing or saying it's going to crack over time. Again, that's why you trust a company like Trek that has a big name, that has a big warranty as well, or manufacturer warranty. If anything is to fail or go bad or anything down the road, you know a company like them will have your back. So not bad at all. The bike also does come in, I believe, 5 different colors. So if you guys don't like this black colorway with the chrome decal, which I do kind of like, you can see with the sunset right there, it has some rainbow. And inside here, it kind of looks Star Trek-y. Looks very trippy in here. Looks pretty cool. They also do make it in a bunch of different colors. I think like a gloss red to black, the team red, and the white. They also have different colors as well. Very clean looking. But the 105 Di2 is very nice. And like I said, there's minimal differences between the 105 to Ultegra and Dura-Ace. 105, you're missing the buttons up here to control your Garmin or to control your gears. The 105s do not have that. This 105 front derailleur is much bulkier than the Ultegra or the Dura-Ace, so you're missing the Hyperglide Plus Plus with this. But still, a Di2 it still shifts up pretty quickly as well. And then the chain and cassette are different materials, and also the derailleurs and the cranks and stuff like that. Instead of getting like a carbon cage and titanium bolts on the Dura-Ace, bro, shut the hell up! Shut up! Instead of getting like carbon and titanium hardware, you're going to get more like steel and alloy stuff. So anyways, but without further ado, let me get into everything this bike comes with for an $8,000 Aero bike by Trek. And again, the weight I don't think is that bad. Okay, I know you guys are going to say this, and I know you guys are saying that I'm normalizing heavy bikes, but this is what it is now. This is what modern day bikes are with disc brakes on them. This is kind of the normal weight for these bikes at these price points. I'm just sorry to say. There's no more rim brakes, super light bikes, or anything like that. These are aerodynamic bikes, which is meant for Florida, which when I do a 35 to 40 mile ride, I only have about 200 to 300 feet of climbing. You guys can check my Strava out. But this bike performs very well. The weight does not bother the bike at all. Once you're at your top end speeds, it holds top end speeds very well. So this bike is meant to do exactly what it's supposed to. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, but yes, this Madone is great, and the weight for being 17.5 pounds with 105 on their Di2 and not the top line wheels ain't bad. You can do some things to make it lighter. You can get this bike for $8,000 and put a little bit of things to it, and people will be like, $8,000, you can do that. Whatever. Anyways, let me go over this bike. I think it's a great price point for it. I would definitely take the 105 version over the rival version, in my personal opinion. So, starting off with the cockpit, this is their revised handlebar and stem cockpit. This is a full one-piece carbon fiber bar. It does say Madone on here for the Madone logo. I believe you can use these cockpits for other bike builds by Trek as well, but this one obviously specific for the Madone because it has Madone logo covered by this tape right here. So the cables are ran now down or into the handlebar, into the stem, down to the spacers. These are breakaway spacers as well, so if you do want to go ahead and lower your stem without having to cut the fork and trying to figure out where you are, you have the option to do so, which I like these companies doing. It makes it much easier for people to adjust the fit and not have to spend a bunch of money for a one-piece carbon bar and stem cockpit, because don't get me wrong, these are great looking, they look aesthetically pleasing, but if you want to change your stem length or if you want to lower this, these things are like $600 to replace, so very nice. You do have Bontrager tape on here, and then we have the new Shimano 105 Di2 12-speed. 12 gears in the rear, 2 in the front, semi-wireless shifting as well. You have a wire connected to the rear derailleur, a wire connected to the front derailleur, up into the battery on the Trek Madone. And then these are a wireless system on here. You can press these 2 paddles down to go ahead and check the battery level. So you got a green light right there. So now we know that these shifters are doing great. So very nice, good quality shifting speed. We have the Trek logo right here in the matte black. And then on this bike, for it being a full-on race bike, this thing can take up to a 700 by 30 C tire, which I think is more than sufficient enough. Modern bikes nowadays can go up to a 700 by 30. You don't need the ISO-speed decouplers here. You don't need all these crazy things. You want to be a more comfortable ride, make it tubeless, put a 700 by 30 C tire on there. The bike feels like you're riding a FSR, full suspension bike nowadays. For the wheels, you got the Bontrager ELS Pro 51mm carbon fiber rims. It is a full carbon fiber rim at a 51mm depth. We do have on here bladed spokes with their own Bontrager hub. These wheels are tubeless ready. And also, these wheels are a cheaper version that will come on the SLR9. The SLR9 will come with a RSL version of the wheel, which is like a super light version. But these are still a very nice quality rim for a 51mm depth wheel. For the tires, they are a Bontrager R3 700 by 25 C tire, which I think is great for this bike. They fit the rim profile of this bike really well. I like how it's just a little bit bulbous, it sticks out just a little bit. And then they do have them tubeless ready already, I believe. No, it's just a black valve. I'm gonna for the disc brakes on here, you have a 105 160mm center lock rotor with a 105 front disc brake caliper. In my video with the Ultegra, these are one of the heavier items for these these compared to Ultegra, so go ahead and swap these out if you want to lose some weight, if you want to be a big weight weenie. The brake calipers themselves for the 105 compared to Ultegra, they looked almost identical. Someone said there was something different about the brakes on there. These things literally weighed and looked exactly the same brake pad, same bleed port, same finish almost, just with the 105 decal on there. You do have a Bond trigger through axle right here, 12 by 100 millimeter for the front wheel. This does pop off and you can put it to the rear wheel, so that way if you do forget your tools or whatever you need, you have that right here. For the new Madones, you have the T47 bottom bracket. This is a threaded bottom bracket, keeping those crank arms tight to the frame, allowing it to be similar to a BB30 to make the less out on there. You're gonna get a stiffer pedal stroke, better horizontal stiffness as well. So they want to keep it as close to the frame as possible. I do like that. It's like the old BB30, which is pretty cool. Less movement out, less adapters out. You get a better feel to it. You have the nice Trek logo down here. We have the water bottle cages in storage right here. Water bottle cages here. Madone, and I asked about this last time. I said why they put number 7 here. People said just for the Gen 7 because this is the 7th generation of the bike. So you got the Madone Generation 7. The SLR is the 800 series carbon. I believe all the Madones of these with the ISOFlow are always going to be their most expensive carbon. They don't have a cheaper carbon. They still do have the Gen 6 to buy. So if you didn't want to spend $8 grand, you want to spend a little bit cheaper money, you can go ahead and get the Gen 6 Madone as well for that. On the top tube here, we have a nice Madone logo and a nice kind of a braze chrome finish. We do have the ELS Elite seat, nice wide cutout for blood flow, nice comfortable saddle, titanium rails. Like I said, you do have swap outs for different seat posts in here. And then we get a nice look at the ISOFlow. Let's see if I can fit my whole fist in here. Nah. Nope, not yet. We'll work in though. We have the ISOFlow logo right there. Like I said, nice little trippy Star Trek logo right there. And then we have the 105 front crank on here. With this 105, with a 54, it's gonna be a 172.5 crank arm, and it's a 50/34, so you're getting a compact brake on here. That's kind of crappy. I wish that was a 52/36. I don't know why they put a compact crank on a Madone, but maybe that's all they had in stock at the time. We do have that bulky ass head 105 front derailleur, and we do have a 105 chain on here with a 105 rear cassette and a 11/34. So again, you're getting pretty much a climbing gear set on here. If it is floored, I'm sure the guy's gonna change out those front chainrings right away. Shimano 105 rear derailleur, and this is where you're gonna charge it at. This is where you're gonna pair it at. This is where you're gonna run all your functions at. You can adjust the gears back here as well. This is your whole brain mechanism right here. And for the rear wheel, it's the exact same as the front. The ELS Pro 51 wheel set, 51 millimeters in depth, with the same tire, Bond Traeger R3 725C. And then the rotors in the back, 160 millimeter rotor, Shimano 105 with a brake caliper with an adapter that brings it up a little bit. And we have a through axle on the back as well. If you do want to lose some weight in the future as well, you can always put this to a 140 because you just remove this adapter, get a 140, and then get shorter screws. That'll work pretty well. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think. I do like this color a lot. It looks very stealth, looks very clean. I think a pair of cotton or gum wall side tires on this bike will look pro AF. You put some white bar tape on there. Ugh. God, it's going to look good. It looks very fast. It looks very sleek. I got to test ride the red one I did, the SLR 9. I got to ride it around. I'm not going to lie to you. It feels very sturdy. I only got to ride around the block, but the bike feels very sturdy. It didn't feel quick and snappy on the get up, but when you're at speed, when you're riding around, it just feels like the bike would go. You point in a direction, you put down power. The bike didn't have any flex laterally. The bike just, you stepped on it and just went. It felt like a bike you want to ride. So very cool bike. We're probably gonna see more and more of those out there. Can't wait to see some crazy builds of it. Let me know what you guys think. Stay tuned to the video for Free Buy Santas as a video. I'll see you guys later. Those birds are gone. You know why? Because they're scared. See you guys later. All right, guys, get ready for the Free Buy Santas of this Trek bike, Bond Traeger wheel. This is very quiet. Very quiet. Go and upgrade that thing to a DT Swiss, and let's just adjust that rear brake a little bit. But anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.